Welcome back to another Ultimate Timing video. If you haven't seen my previous post, I suggest you go take a look at that, as in that video we went over the race day setup process. Today we're going to be looking at the actual race day screen where we are presented with right now. As you can see, there are headers, some that are collapsible. We have the heats and groups and what qualifying format was chosen during that race day setup. Here we have a heat created for box stock with one round of qualifying right now with 3 drivers. If you're a race director or anyone that has done any sort of managing of an event or a race day, you know that after maybe you create a race, maybe there's a latecomer that wants to enter and be a part of it. Well, sometimes that can be cumbersome and a little bit problematic, especially if you're closing in on the start time. So with this Ultimate Timing, what I focused on is simplicity, as you probably noticed that during the race day setup. So to do that, if we wanted to add just an additional driver to a specific class, a heat that's already been created, you can just go ahead and click on Add Driver, and you have an option, a couple different options here. So the existing, this will show every driver that already exists in your driver database. So anyone that's in your database that has a car specific to that class will show up already here, making it simple to add them. And it shows the transponder number corresponding to that car. If someone's brand new to your track, for example, you can go ahead and create that driver here, entering their name, make, model of the car, transponder number, and what class. You can add multiple cars if you'd like, and then you can just go ahead and click on register and add. The import driver I'll be covering in another video, so please stay tuned for that. So we're going to go ahead and for this demo, go ahead and select Kyle. He has now been added to that. Now let's say you run a very small track and 4 drivers in a specific heat might be a little bit much. What you can actually go ahead and do, if you'd like, go ahead and click on heat, create heat, or add a heat here. Since this is qualifying, now we have 2 heats. What you can then do is drag over the drivers that you would prefer in the second heat if you want, and rearrange them accordingly as well. So if let's say you know that Kyle and Logan are going to be faster, then you may want to group them together. Or if let's say you have these 3 and you're like, oh, Logan's a bit slower, let's move him to the next heat instead. So that way it's a little bit closer competition, more according to the driving performance. And then if you need to, you can always rearrange a heat as well by just dragging. This is all done by dragging and dropping. And then you can remove a driver quickly just like that, and then deleting a heat easily as well. You can always collapse this, so if let's say you're on a track and you have multiple classes with multiple rounds, you can go ahead and collapse the rounds that you've completed already. Just that way it kind of makes things a lot easier for you. So you run your first qualifying, it's done, and then you go ahead and click on generate round 2 or Q2, and this basically, once you run the first round of qualifying, will automatically resort the drivers in the order in which you chose during race day setup. So whether you want to do inverse order, random, or fastest to slowest at that point. And then again, you can minimize those. And then you go and generate the main at this point, which we haven't, since we haven't ran either of these qualifyings, we're not going to be able to generate the mains at that point. So just a heads up there, and then a simple delete all heats here, which should, little bugs here and there, still got to work on. Add heat just for awareness. When you go to if you want to just quickly create a race and get going, you can easily do that by add heat. Select the class you'd want, for example, whether it be qualifying or main, select the drivers for that, and then create heat. this will automatically default qualifying to just the standard, pace of laps in a specific qualifying time. So, you have 4-minute qualifier, most amount of laps in that 4-minute time. So that's what it will default to, just FYI. So that is the race day screen, heats, and groups generation. Hopefully this helps you understand what Ultimate Timing is about and just how simple that is. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.